1, 2, 3, 4. What up, y'all? It's your boy, Jermaine Event. Welcome to Babylon 5 podcast. Let's go ahead and introduce the special guest today. Got my lovely wife here today, Sarah. Hey, she say hello to the people.
It me.
Her. It is her. And you don't want to give the people your social medias because you're like, she doesn't want to be associated with this crowd, with the kinds of people that would listen to this podcast. She doesn't want to be associated. Before we get into the social medias, I wanted to say shout out MKE Black. MKE Black just released their app. It's available on Android right now. Soon it'll be available on Apple, on the iPhone. But if you go into that app, it'll link you to all kinds of Black-owned businesses, whether it be like for beauty, fashion, automotive, and it even has social media. And to my surprise, I saw that the Babylon 5 podcast is linked up in there. It was at the top if you go into social media. I was like,
woohoo.
Yeah, I was like, that's fucking dope. So go ahead and get that. If you got an Android, go ahead and get that MKE Black app. And pretty soon you can get it on your iPhone, hopefully. And
thank you, MKE Black.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you. If you guys want, I'm going to give you guys social media. If you want to follow the podcast on Twitter, if you want to follow the podcast on Instagram, it's at Babylon5Pod. If you want to follow my personal account on Twitter or Instagram, it's at my name's Jermaine. You can email the podcast at babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow this podcast. Go ahead. If you're listening to this right now, go to Podbean, set up an account. It's free. And follow the podcast. It would mean the world to me. It's babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to the podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Music. I'm just going to throw Pandora in there because I guess, but pretty much anywhere that podcasts play. And if you want to play some Xbox with me, if you want to play a little Civilization online, my gamer tag is SaucedBoss414. Also, I just put up a little bit of merch, all designed by my lovely wife Sarah here. She did all the dirty gym hopping whore. It was all her designs, her amazing designs. It's teesprings.com/babble-5-podcast-shop. That might be it. I think that's it. But I don't know. Just, it's there. If you look up the Instagram and the Twitters and whatnot, you'll see it all on Facebook. Yeah.
The Twitters.
The Twitters. Your Twitter fingers. Anywho. How you doing, baby girl?
Good. How are you?
I'm sick. Ladies and gentlemen, today as we're recording this a few hours ago, just got the news that due to a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California, Kobe Bean Bryant and his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna Bryant, were killed today. Just in a freak accident. They, along with about 5 other people, died in a plane crash today. I saw one report that said Rick Fox was among one of the gentlemen who also died in the crash. Rest in peace to everybody there. You know, Kobe meant a lot to, black people, basketball fans. Kobe meant a lot to us. I still hold this. People could refute it. I don't tell the story a lot because I feel like people would refute it. But Kobe's last game here, they toward the end of the game, they start doing the "Thank You Kobe" chant. This is in the old arena when the cheer zone was a little closer to the floor. So they start the "Thank You Kobe" chant, and I'm looking at Kobe, and I fucking point to Kobe, and he points back at me. I point to Kobe, and Kobe pointed back at me. And I always had that moment, It always meant a lot to me that Kobe pointed at me, It meant something to me. And it really hurt, seeing this about. When I got the message, TMZ confirmed that Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter. That was like the moment the news came out. So right away I'm like, dude, what about his daughters? Like my heart's out for them, but I'm like, maybe this is just a hoax. You know, that shit happen all the time. Like when I was searching it, there was like no reports other than the TMZ report that when you click the link didn't work. Like it would say like under construction. So I'm like, maybe this is bullshit, but unfortunately, Kobe Bean Bryant died today, January 26, 2020.
Super sad.
It's fucking crazy. The world lost one of the greatest players. I say he was the greatest. He was my favorite player. I always said he was better than Jordan. I said he was better than LeBron. I didn't really start giving LeBron his respect until a few years ago. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, this is a real sad day. Real sad day for everybody. Like they were talking about, I was seeing somebody, they were like, I was listening to Luke Thomas's podcast. He just went live, and somebody commented like, I think the most underrated thing about Kobe is how intelligent he was. He's talking about how he spoke like all these multiple languages, which is like even backed up by like a few weeks ago, Luka Doncic from Slovenia was playing, and he's trash talking Luka Doncic in Slovenian. He's speaking his native language like from the sidelines because that's Kobe Bryant. I was always wondering like, is he teaching her these things? Like, is she? But now that's all, that's just thoughts now. And he's got, 3 other daughters that I think were not on there, and I don't think his wife was there, so hopefully he's got family surviving him. Doesn't have the junior, unfortunately. I think
Here we go.
I was like, I really hope he had some side piece out there. There's a secret Kobe Jr. somewhere.
Jesus.
Come out of the woodwork. Come out of the woodwork. I need it. I need the second coming of Kobe at this point. It's a real sad day. I don't mean to joke, but that's just what I want on a day like this. I want to find out that there is another Kobe. There's a Kobe Bryant's son secretly out there to continue the legacy. That's what I want. That's just my wishful thinking because it's a terrible day today for Kobe Bryant and his whole family. Laker Nation. I wouldn't mind if the Lakers won a championship, but not necessarily at the expense of the Bucks. If the Bucks make it, we got to get ours. But if we don't make it, I would love to see the Lakers take the whole thing in Kobe's honor. That'd be amazing. But yeah, we can go ahead and move on from that. I just want to say rest in peace to Kobe, rest in peace to Gianna. Yeah. And our, positive vibes to his wife and the rest of his family. Just went to Chicago.
We did.
That was fun. So right away, we went to a dispensary. You trying to talk about that or not? Or?
We can. I just don't get it.
I was someone said to me, like, enjoy the lines, like, before we went, and I was just like, it's probably not going to be that bad. It's been like 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's probably not going to be that bad as it was when it first started. And we get to the place, what time did we get there? Like,
I want to say it was like 10:45.
Like 10:45, and we didn't get out of there for like another hour at least.
An hour and 15.
Hour 15, like, yeah, that's just waiting. And I don't understand, because, like, it's like when you're at the post office.
No, you know why. Because we had interactions with the people in line.
Oh, yeah, they were all dumb as fuck. Most of the people there were dumb as fuck. There was this one lady, okay, so the lady, there was lines outside of
3 lines we waited in.
Yeah, outside of the dispensary, there's a line, and then a lady would come out and be like, 2 people, 4 people. She'd say how many people can come into the building and wait in that next line before you get ID'd and then wait in the next line. And,
Which, sidebar, that's only for recreational?
Yeah, if that's recreational. If you're medical, you walk in, you get to skip the waiting outside line. You get to show your ID to them, and then you go to this other side line, and if there is another medical, then you wait in the medical line. But it's a much shorter line than what we're experiencing. But, like, there's one lady in this line who, like, she just couldn't. Maybe she just didn't hear. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. She didn't hear. But everybody with her, the guy with her was like, no. She only said 2. And she's like, no, I think she said 4. And the guys yelling to her like, yo, they're not going to let you in. And she's like, I think she said 4. And she goes in, comes back out a few seconds later like, she tried to lie and say she only said 2. I heard her say 4. And it's like, nah, man, everybody here heard this lady say 2. And then she was talking about, like...
She didn't even know what she was getting.
She's like, what's flour? What does that mean? And the dude with her was like, dude, it's the same stuff we get on the street. It's just regular weed. And she's like, well, it's not the same thing, is it? And it's like, yo, what are you here for? What are you here for?
I feel like she just saw a line and didn't know what she was getting, and she just showed up.
Because they eventually left, right? Like, they had an issue.
I think they didn't have an ID. And then they're like, oh, why won't they let us in?
Dumb niggas. Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that was the case.
We also had, like, another weird interaction with some lady. The one that, like, wouldn't let me go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Lady came. Nigga said somebody's in the bathroom. She's knocking on the door still. Like, what are you doing, lady? Like,
I just want to point out, too, that both these people were boomers.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
Oh, I don't know what that phrase means.
They're old.
That's what that means, old people? Oh, yeah, they was old people.
They want to be hip.
They was old people. I don't know. Everybody was like, oh, it was like old people, like, it's so naughty and it's cool. It's the new thing. Like, my problem with people taking the hop, it's like all these people are just taking the hop, and it's like other people who are really just trying to get from points A to B, and you're just hanging out, taking up space. That was like most of the people in the line there was just like, oh, it's marijuana. They have it here now. Let's go try it out. That was the majority of the people coming, and it was pretty fucking annoying to be. That's the only reason why you gotta wait in line, because people think it's like the cool, like, oh, that's naughty. Let's try it out. That didn't even make
sense either, though, because we had to place our order on an iPad before we even got inside.
You placed an order before you got there. They told you what they didn't have even before they gave you the fucking iPad.
What, 6 things?
Yeah, it was like only 6 things left on the menu. No flour, which was what I preferred. But we were like, we're only going to get enough for the little while that we're going to be in Chicago.
So they had cartridges, edibles, and topicals, I think.
Yeah, and when we got up to the iPad, they had like a disposable pen, like whatever. But, and they had we got the French onion soup.
Which I've never had a savory edible before.
Yeah, it was a savory edible French onion soup. We made some French onion soup, and that shit was fire. Knocked us on our ass. Like, it was coming in waves. Like, it was just fucking...
It was weird, because it just looked like a ranch dressing mix.
Yeah. Oh, let's not gloss over how taxed these Chicago prices are for marijuana. They're taxed. They're overpriced like a motherfucker, and that's before you even throw in the tax, the sales tax. Like the sales tax is pretty high, but the initial price, like for the same kind of thing we would buy in Denver, it was like an extra like $25 to $30, depending on what you were buying.
And then the way they like tax it is they base off the THC
potency.
percent.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking stupid. Chicago's got to get it together. State of Illinois has got to get it together.
Many reasons.
Yeah, for many reasons. But you are taxing. It's like I was looking at that. I was like, not that I was ever trying to do something like this, but if someone were to like have the idea, I'm just gonna go to Illinois, cop legal weed, and then come back and sell it, you're not gonna make a profit because it's marked up so much down there. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. Like, why would you waste money to go to Illinois to bring here? Who would pay for those prices?
Yeah, I want to say like the cartridge was $72.
Yeah, it was like, but that was where the circular ones, the packs was like $76 before tax. And and usually that's like, those packs are usually like at the most like $50, and that's like for like a special cartridge. Like
this, I don't even know. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then the French onion soup was like $32.
Yeah, it was like $32.
Which, that can't be more than 2 tablespoons of whatever it was.
Yeah, it was 100 milligrams. Yeah, it was only like, it was this real small bag, small little pouch.
Mm-hmm.
Like it had Jerry Garcia's ashes in there. If you guys have seen the movie Half Baked, it was a little bag like that. And it had 100 milligrams of savory French onion soup mix, and it was fucking fire.
It was really good.
Did the job, ladies and gentlemen. Tell you that much. I would recommend. What was that place? Rise in like
Mudline?
Is that how you? I thought it was a Mundelein.
Oh.
Mundelein. I don't know. I've never been there before. It's like the closest to the border. So if you're trying to pay for overpriced weed on the border,
and you want to stand in line,
like, yeah, if you want to stand in line for at least an hour, we got there pretty early. So like the lines was long, but like it opens up at like 7:00 in the morning every day. I would suggest getting there pretty fucking early. They got a live menu on their website, so you can see what they have before you get there, before you head out there like a dumbass. There's so many people leaving like, oh, they don't have flour. Like, it's like you could have seen. We saw that before we even went over there. Like, it was on the website. Like, anywho.
Well, the one thing we didn't talk about is how they divide the inventory.
Oh, with the between medical and yeah, it's pretty much they have a limited stock for recreational, but if you're medical, it's always available apparently. Like,
yeah.
For the most part, like the majority of the stock is just there for medicinal purposes, which is it's not fair. It's not fair.
Well, you're making the money.
I have anxiety. You know what's nice about what's nice about it is that if you are medical, usually those prices are a lot cheaper too. Well,
they don't have to pay the tax.
Yeah. You get like double the amount you would get. It'd be like way more potent shit too. Like, I have anxiety. Wisconsin, I have anxiety.
I can't sleep.
And we need to legalize it. I have anxiety. And we need to legalize it. Legalize. Anywho. But not if we're going to do things like the state of Illinois, because them niggas is not doing it right. They need to see what Colorado's doing. Maybe they went and was like, oh, let's just go to Alaska and see how they're doing things, because Alaska's doing a terrible fucking job of it, and so is the state of Illinois. Alaska's terrible.
I just wasn't impressed.
With Illinois?
Yeah, I mean, like, we got what we
only
needed,
went to the one, and it was like, well, we're not going to be here forever, so what do we need? Like,
my first experience was underwhelming. I'll say that.
I would say my upside for that, I liked Wicker Park, the Wicker Park area. That was refreshing from what I usually see in Chicago.
The bean.
Well, no, we did that the one time. I've never really been into like the super touristy things, because when I go, it was either for like a show or we had to like meet up somewhere. Like I was telling you, we went to that Say Institute where I was randomly guest speaker, and I didn't know that until people started asking me questions. And I was like, oh shit, I'm standing in front of this class right now. Like, I'm the guest speaker right now, and I had no idea that was how do I keep getting in these situations? Like, oh shit, he's complaining to me. I'm the manager right now.
God.
Like, how does this keep happening to me?
Classic.
But yeah.
Anywho, Wicker Park.
Wicker Park ain't terrible. I like Wicker Park.
Our Airbnb is pretty good.
The Airbnb was alright. It was alright.
It'd be more fun for summer.
Yeah, because you had access to the roof, which was pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
And a balcony.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. The Airbnb was pretty smooth. The neighborhood was cool. That was pretty cool. What wasn't the coolest? So we went to the secret agent supply company. Well, we went to the wrong place. First, we went to Sugar Records.
Which, that was cool.
Sugar Records was dope. They had, like, just all the dopest records. They had Lonnie Bro for, like, $105, which is, like, the old Frank Ocean mixtape. for $105, and it's worth it. Or it was like $115 or some shit. I don't know. It was over $100.
Like $119, I think.
Yeah, it was like, all right, I understand, because this is a classic record, but they had a lot of dope shit in that record store, and I really fucked with it. Fucked with it a lot. I didn't see dolls of Sid Vicious everywhere. We just watched the documentary and they were like, the Sex Pistols changed everything. You can't go into a record store without there being like dolls of Sid Vicious all over it. And there was not dolls of Sid Vicious everywhere.
We did find records.
Well, yeah, there's Sex Pistols records, you know. That would have meant nothing to me a few days ago, you know, before that. Anywho, I had no knowledge of Sid Vicious, unless we're talking about Psycho Sid Vicious. Ladies and gentlemen, can I get an amen? Anywho, yeah, so we went to Sugar Record Company, or Sugar Records, accidentally, and that was pretty dope. Mm-hmm. That was a pretty cool spot. That was a pretty cool spot. And then we went like across the hall to the place we wanted to go, which was the Secret Agent Supply Company. And
just a gift shop.
It's just a little, random little gift shop with mainly books. Had like spy glasses, see behind you.
It had like 3 things.
Hypno glasses, little secret recorders, like
soda
audio
cans.
recorders. So yeah, soda cans, like stuff you find at Knucklehead. Soda cans that open up and you can stash things. Looks like a Pepsi can, but you really got illegal things or whatever you're hiding in there. Yeah. It was like one of those little shops, but it's mainly like a bookstore. It's pretty lame, I would say.
This outside looked cool.
But it made this list of actually cool things to do in Chicago that I found. And that was one of the things that out of that list looked actually cool. And then it turned out to not be. I realized that there was no pictures of the insides of these places. It would just be like a picture of the outside of the building.
Didn't you say the name changed, though?
Yeah, it was like it was like definitely not a Secret Agent.
It was probably cool when it first opened.
Yeah, but I was like, if I was a little kid and I came in there and it had all that secret spy stuff, I'd want all of it. You know what I'm saying? Like in the 90s, that would have been the coolest fucking store in the 90s. Like in the Harriet the Spy days. Like if you found that store in the Harriet the Spy days, you would have been the coolest motherfucker.
We have something like that here.
Well, with the art, smarts, and blah, blah, blah?
No, it's on the south side. Shoot. I can't remember. I'll think of it.
Okay. All right. Okay. And then where did we go? We went to
Woolly Mammoth.
Woolly Mammoth Antiques and Oddities, which is, I would say,
it's mostly oddities.
It's the creepiest fucking store that I've ever seen.
But they have a dog.
They have a taxidermy dog right in the window.
But a real one, too.
And a real one. I walked in. My lovely, lovely wife didn't get these vibes. I got Pulp Fiction, what the fuck is going on in here vibes. And something might go down vibes instantly. Those were I was like, holy shit. Where did we walk into? You know?
No.
That wasn't the vibe you got, no. But I was like, holy shit, what did I get us into? And I didn't trust. There was like 2 other customers in there. They were talking, having a conversation, but I didn't trust any motherfucker in there. Because this other guy was like, yeah, I got a buddy. He got a mummy in his living room, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, everybody in here is fucking crazy. There's fucking real skeletons in that motherfucking shop.
Shrunken heads.
Teeth. So this is, just to give you guys a hint of what I'm saying. So first I noticed these heads. And they kind of have like real human hair. There's like, it's like fake masks like of a head, but with real human hair that I can see. I'm like, dude, that's real human hair. So right away I'm like, this shit is weird. Like, those masks have human hair on them. That's weird. And then I look over and I see 2 skeletons. I see the one skeleton first, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, these bones look small. And then I look at the next one and it has a sign on it like, this is a real skeleton, please do not touch. And I'm just like comparing the size and I'm like, well, this is definitely a child skeleton. where the fuck are we? Meanwhile, my wife is just like, oh, this is so cool. She's going through, looking at this, looking at like, oh my God, look at this. And I'm just like, sitting here like, we are going to get raped if we don't get the fuck out of here in a second. That's the vibe I'm getting here. But you can go ahead and talk about it. You talk about some things. You thought some things were cool. What are some things you've seen there?
The 2-headed goat.
There was a 2-headed goat.
That was cool.
Taxidermy 2-headed goat.
Mm-hmm. The drawing.
The drawing, I think, was probably my favorite thing there. It was a drawing of Adolf Hitler by John Wayne Gacy. That's just interesting, you know. It's not like, oh, shit, it wasn't like a super good drawing. It was just a drawing that John Wayne Gacy did of Adolf Hitler. That's interesting, you know. It's just interesting to see. Yeah, I thought that was probably one of the coolest things there. There was like some weird ass dolls there. There was Ghana movie posters, and one of the dudes there that was shopping was like, "Hey, how much for one of these movie posters?" And the guy was like, $800. $800. What is up with these Ghana movie posters?
There is something on their Instagram. I didn't read it though.
Okay, because I was freaked out. I took some pictures. I was taking pictures in there, and then on the last picture, I saw the sign that said, like, "Did you know it's rude to take pictures without asking?" I'm like, oh, shit.
Now we gotta get out of here.
And I'm like, if I post these photos, we will be murdered. But at least I wanted to get this episode out here so that if we do end up murdered, you know exactly where to go. You go to the Woolly Mammoth Antique and Oddity Shop, because we might post some of these pictures at some point on social media. Hopefully we don't die for it, because there's real skeletons, real human hair on these masks, real shrunken heads, real taxidermied things all over the place, real human teeth everywhere. Was there not a lot of human teeth in there?
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird shit in there, and you weren't freaked out at all. I'm like, I was looking for like, oh, let me go in there and find like an old school like phonograph or something, like something that looks real cool. And then it's like, holy shit, it's dead things everywhere. There's teeth, fingers. Like that was like that was real weird. Like the plastic fingers to me.
That was weird, yeah.
Like out of all the bullshit you got in here, you got these bullshit ass plastic fingers. That was weird.
I like the dental records.
I didn't like the dental records.
Oh, I just like going through them.
Every single like aspect, every new thing that like made you excited, I'm just like, we're about to get murdered. We're about to be raped and murdered.
No, I made friends with the dog.
I don't know. And then there's that other those two customers, they're leaving, and you're still like looking at things, and I'm like, in my head, like, we got to get out of here before they leave, or we're gonna be raped and murdered. But somehow we made it out of there. Weird. At this point, I was thinking it comes down to if my jujitsu is better than this guy's.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I feel confident that if that dog attacked me, if he sicked the dog on me, I don't know, that dog would probably fuck me up. It's a dog, all right? It would fuck me up. But I think maybe I could put it to sleep. I could put that dog to sleep. And if that guy doesn't have any jujitsu, but he probably has some crazy weapons in there, seeing as there's teeth and fucking real human hair and all these face masks, he probably has some crazy weapons in there. He seems like a psychopath serial killer, in my opinion. He watches professional wrestling.
Oh.
You came to your first professional wrestling show with me, like a little bit over a year ago. Tell me, all right, what kind of people go to professional wrestling shows? Are these rational people? Do you think these are pretty rational people that go to these shows for the most part? Probably, maybe about 5% of the audience is rational people. Everybody else, I don't know. I don't know. It's like I don't even feel good cheering. When I go to WWE shows or whatever, I root for the bad guys just to annoy people. But like, when you start to annoy these people who believe it all still, like you're like, oh man, you feel like a bully. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fuck, dude. Like, I'm just trying to have fun here, and you're actually mad. Like, how did I get on this?
That guy that owned the.
Oh yeah, the guy. He had some dude from wrestling in the show, from WWE. Brian Saxton was in the shop, and it's like, all right, you're a wrestling fan. You're a hot trash white dude in Chicago, and I mean, because I'd say that's most of the fan base. I would, like Donald Trump was once a good guy on there. Yeah, he was big ovation. I mean, he came on the show and had money raining down from the ceiling, so it's not too hard to be a good guy like that. But that's what my nigga Yang's trying to do. Gang. And so that nigga seemed like a serial killer, and we couldn't get out of there fast enough. He seemed pretty dry, to me at least, especially because we were in there just taking pictures and didn't notice that sign. Didn't say what up to him before we were taking pictures. We were just taking pictures. So he seemed pretty dry, and I was like, this man is going to attempt to rape and murder us.
Oh, my God.
At any moment here. He's probably got a button that's just going to lock that door from his desk. And if, at this point, if he has better jujitsu than me, it's all over, ladies and gentlemen. It comes down to if I have better jujitsu than him. Who has better jujitsu? That's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. That's what it should come down to in, like, most superhero movies. It should be like Batman versus Joker, and it really, all of a sudden, like, they have a gi on under their costumes, and it comes down to who has better jujitsu. Because I think that's really what it would always come down to. Who has the better jujitsu? Okay. All right, so you want to talk about the woolly mammoth? You got any more?
No, I'm good.
You want to talk about the shed?
The shed?
Shed Aquarium.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
How'd you feel about it? What were some things you...
I felt like it was a little overpriced for what it was.
$40 for the amount of attractions and whatnot that they have there. Because even for those other shows, you would have to pay extra, right?
At least $5.
I guess that's not terrible, $5.
How much is it?
It's like $40 per person. It's like only 30-something for residents, I think. I don't think it's that much cheaper.
How much to go in the Milwaukee Zoo?
I don't know. I haven't been since I was a child.
I think Discovery World is $30 a person.
And I don't go to those animal prisons.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of zoos.
I like the aquarium, though.
I'm indifferent. That was my first time going to an aquarium. I don't agree with zoos. And I know, like, that at SeaWorld, and things like that, they give the animals Valium and shit like that. And who's to say that they don't do that here at the shed in Chicago? Who's to say? Because I was looking at the penguins and seeing how, like, all their wings had these clips in them. And I was like, that's not cool. I was like, none of the penguins in the pictures you're showing on the side of this exhibit have clips in them, because it's probably a cruel thing you're doing to these penguins. Like, and if you're doing it so that they can't break away and get out of here, maybe you shouldn't have penguins here. If penguins wanted to live here, you shouldn't have to maim them in a way where penguins have no choice but to stay here. Who gives people the right to just keep these fucking animals in cages and exhibits and blah, blah, blah? That's my only issue with places like that. Who gives those people the right to have that shit there? Like, to have those animals, keep them there. I'm not a fan. Slavery. It's slavery for those animals. It's animal prisons. But yeah, Shed was alright for what it was, Shed was cool, and the Shilpotins were cool, the turtles were cool. I really like the sea otters. I'm so sorry. I went in there and I took it left. I'm sorry. Okay, so the sea otter were cool, right?
Aww. I'm done with this.
What do you mean? What do you mean, babe?
What am I supposed to say now?
That's just how I feel.
Okay, but I liked it.
Yeah, don't like let my opinion on like zoos and all that like affect your good time. You can talk about your good time. I still had a good time there. There was a lot of things like I had never seen sea otter in person, and I was still pretty intrigued by what exactly they are.
I thought they'd be smaller.
I thought they'd be smaller. I don't know why I didn't expect them to be furry the way they are, but they're real cool looking creatures. The way they swim and just, I didn't know they could just stay underwater like that. The way they look like they need to come up for air, but they're furry creatures that can just breathe underwater. That was pretty cool to see.
I like the one floating on his back.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, when I've talked to people about how I don't like zoos, they'll say, like, you know, this is experience. People get to see things that they never would get to see. And I guess I understand that argument. Like, I got to see things that I never saw before. That's interesting. But at the same time, what gives you the right, you know? Anywho. So we saw the jellyfish. Those were cool. I'm so sorry, man.
That made me mad, though, because it made it look like there's more jellyfish.
No, it was real
like
small.
4.
Yeah, it was a real small area for the jellyfish.
The smallest tank, I think. But they still were cool. I like them.
I like the...
The octopus is cool, too.
What was the, was it the belugas or...
Mm-hmm. The white ones?
No, what was the thing before, like, when we first, when we first went up to those, like, pool areas, and it was kind of, like, swimming up and...
Oh, a dolphin?
Was it a dolphin? I don't know.
They had them in the same thing.
Because it seemed like... I don't know if it was a sea otter, but it had, like, whiskers.
Oh, a seal.
A seal? Was that what that was? Okay, that thing was... Those were pretty cool. The seals were dope. And, yeah.
If we end up going to San Francisco, they, like, sit at the bay.
When were we talking about going to San Francisco?
In July.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Seattle.
Yeah, do it all.
Oh.
But it's probably in Seattle, too. Like, they'll come and sit on the docks, and you'll just go, and there'll be, like, 20 of them. They're awesome.
Wait, what sits on the dock?
The sea lions and the...
Oh, I'm not trying to get that close.
No. Like, you stand...
They will murder me.
No. Like, you stand on a standing pier, and they're down in the water.
And you feed them?
No. You just look.
What stops them from murdering me?
20 feet of height?
What's stopping me from falling into the water and them murdering me?
A fence?
Is there a fence?
Yes.
All right, I'll go.
Oh, wow.
Because you know niggas can't swim. You know niggas can't swim.
God.
What's stopping me from falling into the water and drowning to my death?
A fence.
Or them murdering me.
They can't.
My best bet is to hold on to them and hope the one I hold on to
Doesn't know jiu-jitsu?
safely takes me to shore. Just hold on, buddy, and takes me to shore. That's what I hope.
I just got a visual of that.
Right? Isn't that pretty cool?
Majestic.
That's pretty cool. That's what I would want. Have you seen any cool documentaries lately?
Oh, there's an Aaron Henandez one.
Aaron Henandez? Yeah, it was a pretty bomb-ass documentary by Aaron Henandez.
Interesting. But biased.
It was biased. What are some things that went down? It was... So, Aaron Henandez, former tight end for the New England Patriots, if you guys aren't aware, was arrested initially in suspicion for the murder of Odin Lloyd, who was a local football player, played for like a local team, not like a professional team. But he was friends with Aaron Henandez. Aaron Henandez, he killed him like not too far from his home.
Like in a quarry.
Yeah, in a quarry or some shit like that. Like,
construction, I think.
Yeah, construction area. It was like not too far from his home. And then there was home video of Aaron Henandez walking in with a gun in his hand and whatnot. So he's initially arrested on that. In the investigation, they search his aunt's house, and they find a vehicle that the Boston police had been looking for that was in connection to a double homicide maybe about 2 years prior to that. And so he's in prison, or he's in jail, facing the trial for the Odin Lloyd murder, and then will later face for the double homicide in Boston. And his lawyers in the Odin trial, pretty fucking terrible lawyers. They at the end of the trial, and it's like, I felt like they were shitty lawyers when I was watching the first part of the documentary. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know what I could and what could not have done. But then when you see the second lawyer later on, you're like, damn, they could have did a lot more, like, as I was thinking. But they were pretty shitty. And, like, by the end of it, they put Aaron... At first, they initially said Aaron wasn't there, he didn't do it. And then they were like, yeah, he was there. He witnessed some people do this. And it was like, they said that he was there, like, in their closing arguments. It was like, yo, these people fucking suck. And
it was a team.
Yeah.
The other guy was just good on his own.
Yeah, it was his second lawyer was the same lawyer that defended Casey Anthony and got Casey Anthony off.
Is it Beto?
Some shit like that. Some shit like that. But he got Casey Anthony off. And so Aaron Henandez was found guilty of murder for the first time. For the first murder, for the Odin Lloyd case. It's just, the whole thing is crazy because they go into his background of...
to put it in perspective, it's 3 parts, 120 minutes each. I would say most of it was filler stuff.
Yeah. A lot of nonsense, I would say, overall. And they kind of glossed over, I think, a lot of the important parts. Like CTE, like how much the CTE affected him. I feel like they kind of glossed over that. Over the shock. They put in more shock value. And I guess you're trying to be entertaining, but...
There's no fact, though. Like, they were really on the storyline that he was gay or whatever, which... They didn't have anything to back it up, and they were just, like, interviewing random gay football players for some
random
reason.
gay ex-football players. They had the one
that didn't know him.
Yeah, and his whole thing was, like, I think they were trying to make the comparison that Aaron could have done something like that if he were a secretly closeted gay man, because this other guy who's a closeted gay man said his whole plan was to kill himself after his football career was over. So that was the only reason I saw that they put that guy's story in this documentary at all.
Just he had nothing to do with him.
Had nothing to do with Aaron Henandez. They threw in Junior Seau and the fact that he killed himself and it was like he had CTE. They mentioned that Aaron Henandez had like the worst case of CTE after he killed himself. And
his brain was literally hollow.
It was hollow, but then they were still trying to discredit that as being a factor in what happened, or if he took parts in any of this. And it's just, I don't know, it's a lot of moving parts. Because when he's tried for the double homicide, his second lawyer gets him off. All right, he's found innocent. They pull out all the text messages from the guy. The key witness that got him convicted in the first murder. The second lawyer is pulling out all the text, like that where he says in text he doesn't know who shot him. He's like pulling out all these things, like really questioning the integrity of this witness. And yeah, Aaron Henandez was found innocent of the second of the double homicide in Boston. And I wish if he had a lawyer that cared and actually like fought for him in the first case, we would be in a different situation, you know. But Aaron had like shitty relationship with his family, you know what I'm saying? Like his mom sitting there like,
oh, so weird.
Like, cause he signed his contract for $40 million, and his mom's like, cause now that he's arrested, his mom's like on the phone saying like, I told you when they gave you that $40 million to just give me $1 million and I'll be fine. And he's like, what are you talking about? Like, you act like I just have him at like $40 million. Like, that's not the case. You don't sign a contract for $40 million and then they give you $40 million. It's like once the season starts up, you start making the amount that you were scheduled to make that year, you know, spread about those years or whatever. I mean, about those weeks, 1st and 15th. But yeah. It was just wild, you know. He had the relationship, his father. They threw in all the gay stuff, but like, I don't know if that.
Well, you saw that tweet.
What tweet?
Where the person's like, that wasn't his quarterback?
Yeah, so there was a guy on there that was that claimed
Supposedly.
to be his quarterback in high school, and then stated that he and Aaron
his dad
had a secret gay relationship. Yeah, and this guy's dad, like, for whatever reason, was there also. And they were claiming that Aaron and him secretly had a gay relationship. Like, but then there's, like, other people who are like went to high school with Aaron who claim that guy was not his quarterback. Like, there's no credibility to what this guy's saying. Aaron's second lawyer said that, like, there's a lot of lies. It's pretty much all lies in the documentary about Aaron, and Aaron's not the person they're trying to make him out to be in the documentary. Yeah, I really wish the second lawyer was there for him from the get-go. You know, he cared a lot more. When you look into the fact that the key witness is a guy who had known he was a gangster, he had all those gun crimes before that, he had all these charges that would pretty much make it seem like he was the person who shot at all these people. He is that hothead who would speak. He has guns. He has all these gangsters with him. He was the key witness, and his credibility was torn apart in the second case. Like, mainly because it looked like he only testified in order to get some time off of himself. That was pointed out. Like, I don't know if Aaron did it, but I feel like he was definitely there for those situations. I don't know what role he took, but it's a weird case. It's weird cases, weird situations to look at. I feel bad for his daughter. I feel bad for his wife. Those are probably the only two people I feel bad for in the situation. I feel bad for Odin Lloyd's family and the family of all those people, you know, that were...
I'm confused, the relationship with the brother.
Yeah.
Just because...
I feel like at this point he's there speaking in the documentary because, you know...
To look good.
Yeah, he's definitely getting paid for that, like...
He was releasing books, too. I'm like, okay.
No, see, his family just seems pretty shady, other than his wife. I don't know. It's just weird because, you know, once his dad died, he didn't go to the same college with his brother. He didn't go... So he didn't see that comfort in his brother that he probably would have sought if they had a good relationship. It seemed like pretty much once he went to, Florida... That,
he kind of cut everyone.
Yeah, he cut everyone out at that point is what it seemed like. And then you see how, like, he pretty much, like, hated his real mom and looked at his aunt as his real mom. His mom was never really a mom to him. So he just had, like, no... But then they're saying, like, I don't know. I would say they're pointing out that he had no relationship with his real family other than with his father, who they were trying to claim that he was... secretly gay and terrified of the whole time, which I don't really see any credibility in that, because if they were trying to claim that he murdered Odin Lloyd because Odin Lloyd found out he was gay, but there was like no motive there. They were just saying like he got angry, and they're showing like photos and videos from the night, and he doesn't look too angry at all. Like,
and the timing doesn't match up.
The timing doesn't match up. Like when the second lawyer really gets into it, none of it really matches up. And there's nothing like to show that, oh, he found out he was gay and started and like felt like he needed to take him out. Like none of it made any sense why they even put it in the documentary, other than to give you that shock value, you know. It's real interesting. I'm not saying he's completely innocent, but I think there's a lot more than meets the eye there.
We'll get to talk about, too, how he was outed.
Yeah.
If he was gay.
Yeah, how was he outed?
Well, it was just that reporter took it upon herself to make crude jokes on TV. Then 2 days he killed himself after that.
Yeah, and you were mentioning how, like, we were watching that documentary on the Michelle Carter, who... who like coerced her boy or demanded her boyfriend kill himself, talking into it. It was the same court.
Same state.
Yeah, same state, Commonwealth.
They held her accountable.
They held her accountable, but they don't hold this woman accountable whose actions...
She works in Boston. I looked her up.
Yeah, her actions should have been directly responsible for him hanging himself. Out at this man while he's in jail. Like, it's just, I don't know, it's a crazy situation. Just real crazy situation. I don't know. Rest in peace to everybody involved, man. Aaron Henandez, Odin Lloyd, all those two gentlemen in Boston, man. Rest in peace to everybody, man. Like, but I think there's more to it than we know.
I'm hoping like his other lawyer releases like a rebuttal documentary.
That'd be cool. Mm-hmm. That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be cool. Anything else you want to say about that?
No. It was just sad. I feel bad for his daughter.
I feel bad for his daughter. Feel bad for his wife because she was the only one who really stuck by him the whole time.
And they never interviewed her, which
she
makes it
pretty much cut off her whole family at that point to stand by him once the people accused him of murdering her boyfriend, because Aaron Hernandez's wife was actually her sister was dating Odin Lloyd, the person Aaron was accused of murdering. So they pretty much cut off all contact from there. And she's at that point, I guess she had no real choice but to stand by him because her family, there was no connection there anymore. Hopefully by this point, that's reconciled. Did you want to talk about the circle? We don't have to.
Sure.
Yeah.
Recap it.
Recap the circle. All right, we recap the circle. I never got into the finale last week at all, but we can talk about the circle if you want to talk about.
So who were the top 5 again? It was Joey.
It was Joey, Sammy, Chris, Shabam,
and Rebecca.
And Rebecca, yeah.
Seaburn,
my nigga Seaburn.
I liked him.
Seaburn was cool. I'd say Shubham was probably my favorite character throughout the whole show. I felt like he was the most genuine person.
I felt like, too, like, he needed to be on the show, but he didn't need to win.
No, yeah, I felt
he needed it for, like, confidence reasons.
Confidence reasons, yeah, I felt like he was just, that personality was great for the show. Like, just good vibes all around from Shubham. But I didn't think, like, looking at just me judging people taking the eye test, I felt like he didn't need the $100,000 there. And we could, in the bogus way. So like, how did the finale go?
Well,
it started with
mom.
Aaron. No, Aaron came clean that she was of the last episodes of or whatever. Because it starts with all of that. She came clean, then she was not who she was in the pictures, and everybody was just like cool with that. So that like threw me off of like what the whole point of the show is. Like, are you guys trying to catch catfish? Or are you just like?
I think they're trying to be liked.
That's it. You're just trying to be an influencer at the end of the day, right? They're just trying to, at the end of the day, be an influencer. It doesn't really matter because she came out as a catfish, and people were like, "Oh yeah, that's cool. We feel great that she came out as a catfish." And it's like, whoa,
Ed wasn't buying it, though.
But you guys were like, no, I think you're a catfish. Like, that claim on somebody would get somebody eliminated. But then once you find out that someone's a catfish, they're like, oh, we respect you for that.
Well, let's talk about the realistic thing. Nobody who's added is going to get to the top. It's always going to be the
It didn't make any sense because they had that original crew, and then they kept eliminating and adding new people, eliminating, adding new people, and it was like, I don't know why you keep adding people, and then the show kind of ended like probably they were in that place probably for like no more than 2 weeks, maybe like
right.
Like if you started from the beginning, you were in there for like 2 weeks, and they would eliminate one person, bring in a new person, and then it came down to like.
Well, the 6 were with Ed and his weird mom.
Yeah, Ed and his weird mom.
Can we talk about how she cried?
Did she cry?
Yeah, she was crying for.
Once they got eliminated, she cried.
And I'm like, you've been here for like 2 days.
Yeah,
what are you crying about?
They just got there, and the very first chance, like the only time that they were involved in the ranking, they lost because they're like the newest people there and didn't have a connection with people. Clearly, that's how it's gonna happen. But I don't know. I don't know why she cried. That was a pretty weird situation. And it was like, so the first ranking was that the lowest player was instantly blocked, which was Ed and his mom. And then
they said, "Oh, here's the finalist."
Yeah, they were like, they just announced, here's the final ranking, and this is going to decide who wins the game. Like, that was fucking stupid to me. Because if you're going to add all these players constantly and then just randomly one day, it seemed like these people had no idea how long the show was going to go for.
Right.
And then randomly one day, you're like, all right, we're doing the final ranking now. Sorry, we just added some player yesterday. Like, we added 2 players that you just now got it to add on, like, vote if they were to even make it to the finals or even move to the next round for the very first time. These people were just added. And now, here today, we're going to vote on,
right. So
like,
dumb.
who wins the game. Like, you're not even giving them a fair chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not getting a fair chance here.
And I wasn't as invested in them either.
You can't. You can only be invested in Sammy and Chris and all the people who have actually had a personality throughout, who gave you something throughout the whole episode. This guy just got here this episode, and now there's the voting, there's the ranking, and clearly you're thinking like these people, this person just got here, so you can't know them. You got to rank them lower than all the people you already know, unless somebody calls this person a catfish. Then they, like, eliminated a lot of people over that claim.
It's really weird.
And then once they found out people were catfishes, they were like, whatever, it doesn't matter. So the final 5, were Shabam, Sammy, Chris, Rebecca, Joey. And they did I say the whole show was kind of rushed the way they did that. But then they did that whole reveal session where everybody met in that room first.
Oh, the dinner.
And it was like one after one, and everybody's like, oh my God, Rebecca's not a Rebecca. Rebecca's really a man. And it was just like, okay, I'm cool with it. It was just like drawn out. That went on for like an hour.
Right.
And then they went into the real room and then introduced everybody again in the reunion, like one by one by one. And then they did the reveal of the rankings. And sure enough, my nigga Joey, who I would say I didn't care for him in the beginning, but he's
funny.
Yeah, throughout the course, he showed more that he was more of a human being. He had more empathy for people, and I like that about him. And he seemed like a normal person. His level of empathy made me want him to win out of there. I felt like I feel like they all could have used the money except for like maybe Shabam. But I was cool with Joey winning that. What did it mean? What did we get from that show? I don't know. Would I watch it if they made another season? Yup.
Yep.
I'd watch it. I don't know what happened, but okay. Y'all did y'all thing on there. Y'all did y'all thing. I'll watch it again. But I just didn't know what the point of the show was.
Right.
And then all of a sudden it was like, all right, rank who gets $100,000. There was no like, they should have lied. They should have been like, all right, we're going to do a ranking. And then after they did the ranking, be like, here's the twist, alert. That ranking decides who wins $100,000. It shouldn't be like, we're doing it right now. This is who's going to get $100,000. Like, I didn't feel like that made any sense to me at all. But
yeah, I don't get the point of the show, but I watched it.
I watched it, and I'd watch it again if they came out with a new season. I don't think I would maybe be on that show. I'd be a catfish on there.
Would you really?
Maybe be a girl or something, maybe try to talk about my period and all that. I talk about my period all the time anyway.
What is wrong with Seaburn?
I was spotting this morning.
Ew.
But yeah, I'd probably be I don't know. Would you be on that show?
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just a weird show. Like, what is it? I don't even understand what's really happening. And it's like you're just trying to be liked. And then, bam, here's their last day. Make a decision right now. We're here.
Well, I feel a certain type of way towards influencers, so I don't know if I'd be on there.
I'd maybe be on there.
They're just annoying, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Fake celebrities.
Yeah. they are fake celebrities, but they're real celebrities to whoever likes them.
So weird.
You know. Is that all we're going to talk about today, baby girl?
I think so.
All right, baby girl. You want to go ahead and give them your social medias?
No.
No?
I don't think anyone would care.
Baby girl's social media is at socialmedia.com.
Thank you.
Okay. And if you want to follow the podcast on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Instagram and Twitter, it's at Babylon5Pod. You can follow my personal account at My Name's Jermaine on Instagram and Twitter. You can email the podcast at babylon5podcast@gmail.com. You can follow and subscribe to the podcast at babylon5.podbean.com. You can listen to the podcast on Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and pretty much anywhere podcasts play. And if you want to play a little Civilization, maybe some 2K with me on Xbox, my gamer tag, SauceBoss414, and you can go ahead and get yourself some t-shirts, maybe some leggings, some socks at teesprings.com/babble-5-podcast-shop. And you can get that. And go ahead and get that MKE Black app while you're at it. You can find some pretty dope stuff on there. Thank you guys so much for listening. This is episode 23. Hers and his too. Maybe.
Yeah, I like that.
Maybe. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Gianna Bryant. And, yeah. Hope you guys have a great week. Peace.
Bye.